Okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially back. All right, good morning. We are officially back. We had to do a quick restart. We're working out some glitches on the platform. All right, but I got what I needed to continue the charge and making sure me and TikTok get this thing worked out. Because this is why I don't do anything just yet. I haven't decided to ramp up my schedule just yet because we got to make sure this matter about people getting sensitive, they get sensitive because I get out here and I just tell the truth about what's happening in the United States. And so, what I'll say is this, ladies and gentlemen, join me in warming up the Lake of Fire. Uh, the last segment that I had just shown, what I showed was the gas prices are way too high. Americans can't catch a break with this second administration. And Americans are going to continue to suffer, unfortunately, until we do the right thing this November, which is go ahead and vote for the Democrats. All right, you have no choice. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending Donald Trump and his administration straight to hell. Thank you. I'm back.
Silence, you MAGA
And it's a
demon.
W, Zeus. Yes. Now, let's get back to some updates going on in the news. Many of you have been watching the news, and I'm pretty sure you saw yesterday uh, Thomas Massey. He took a slacking yesterday, and he will have, he's no longer going to be representing Kentucky because he was primaried. And I just wanted to call this out because this is a lesson to every single person out there. I understand very clearly why MAGA refuses to criticize Donald Trump, especially if they're members of Congress, because that basically will translate into you being a target. We saw it happen with Marjorie Taylor Greene. We're seeing it happen with Bill Cassidy out in Texas. I mean Louisiana. And now we got Thomas Massey. And yeah, out in Texas, there's again, you see what happened with Paxton, right? So what this shows is, I believe we're at a crossroads right now, ladies and gentlemen. If you are one of these folks out there that are in the Republican Party and you supported Thomas Massey, you know what you got to do this November. It's interesting who our bedfellows are. It's interesting who our bedfellows are in times like this. And this is honestly a lesson to every single person out there that's an American. Why vote for Donald Trump when you know exactly what he stands for? You can't even tell this man you don't want to go to war without him targeting you. You can't even tell this man uh, you want the Epstein files without this man targeting you. Why would you go and vote for more Republicans that Trump is backing when you know exactly what you're going to get? So what I want to do is call out what Thomas Massey said. One of the things he said, because this is something that I am actually in a way looking forward to, and this is also a lesson to Thomas Massey. You can't straddle the fence. You cannot straddle the fence when it comes to Donald Trump and his administration. If you're gonna stand up to him, you got to do it 100% because otherwise you'll end up looking like this. Now, this is the only thing that I'm looking forward to, and this has to do with Jeffrey Epstein.
And we need basic decency. We
Mm-hmm.
need basic decency. That's what the Epstein Files Transparency Act was all about. By the way, today is the 6-month anniversary of the Epstein Files Transparency Act.
Oh.
We've taken out 24 CEOs, an ambassador, a prince, a prime minister,
Take him out.
a minister of culture,
Get him out of here.
and that was just 6 months. I got 7 months left in Congress.
Every single one of you clapping for Thomas Massey, you better be voting for Democrats in November. I mean, this is your last chance to do something right. I already don't. I'll deal with you and the other stuff you've done to get us to this point on another day. But get your behinds out there and vote for Democrats this November because you see what he's doing. You got to vote. Okay? And so the lesson here is if you are a Republican and you think that you can serve two masters, Donald Trump and the United States Constitution, here's the thing. You won't be able to do it. As far as Donald Trump is concerned, Donald Trump will label you a Democrat. You saw the campaign that happened against Thomas Massie. He rolled out everything. Stephen Miller. He put out videos himself. J.D. Vance, even Secretary of War Crimes, Pete Kagsman. Pete, I don't need you to go to war against Iran. No, I need you to get boots on the ground in Kentucky to stop Thomas Massie. I said, I've never seen anything like this. They put up, what, $30+ million to destroy this person? Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in warming up the lake of fire. And again, let this be a lesson to all of you out there that think you can play with fire and not get burned. We're in serious times right now. There is no room to straddle the fence about who Donald Trump and what he represents is. And so unfortunately, Thomas Massie, I got to send you to hell, but I'm going to send Trump with you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send them both to hell. But Thomas, there is room for repentance. I had to do it. I had to do it.
Silence, you MAGA.
That's a huge W, Zeus. But Thomas Massie, honestly, you got 7 months, you said? You know what you got to do. You need to sabotage Donald Trump's entire administration from here on out. All right? I don't want to see any of this, oh, I'm going to do it, for the cause. No. You know what you got to do. Sabotage this and plant sticks of dynamite every little corner, every little nook and cranny in there. Make sure every time, and you definitely got to release those files. Get as much of that Epstein stuff out of here because, we got to live like there's no tomorrow. So speaking of people sabotaging Donald Trump, Bill Cassidy out in Louisiana, right? I'm going to let Cory Booker explain what recently happened. This has to do with the Iran war, and this is very important because I want to see more stuff like this, ladies and gentlemen. I really do. Here it goes.
Resolution to pull it out of committee. And that's a big break because we've gotten now 4 Republicans to join us, Cassidy being the most recent one, who has finally said enough is enough. 4 powers don't belong to the president. They belong to Congress, as the Constitution clearly states. And this president who's been running a reckless, dangerous war, hurting America, making us less safe and not more, driving up people's expenses at home, wasting tens of billions of taxpayer money abroad, and for what? For a more extreme regime now? For the fissile material, hundreds of pounds of highly enriched uranium still being over there? Wow. Now the Strait of Hormuz is effectively closed. So today is a good day. It's only a step, though. Now the bill comes out of committee and we have an up or down vote on the floor. It is a big step of progress. We pledged that we would not allow this war to go on without checking it every single week. And I'm glad that we've been making progress. And today is a big step forward. The fight continues. The work continues. We still need you and others. We still need folks speaking up against a war that is a disaster and a president that's more focused on failing abroad than doing what he said he was going to do, which was to drive prices down at home.
So the Senate finally advanced the resolution to end the war with Iran, and that was possible because Bill Cassidy lost, and now he's able to just go ahead and say, you know what, Donald Trump, I'm not playing this game anymore. It's sad we got to go through it this way, but if this is what it takes, go ahead. So that's a huge W, Zeus. W, Chris. Thank you. Am I accepting guest requests? I do accept guest requests after I finish my monologue, but just send a guest request and I'll get you up here. As long as you're being truthful, it won't be a bad experience. But if I catch you lying, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it because there's sharks in here listening, and you get stuff wrong, I don't catch you, they will. The next thing, speaking of just how pathetic Donald Trump makes the United States look, someone sent me this, and this has to do with his visit to China. Let's get this on the record. And I said, really, is this what the president of the United States of America did on a global stage? He went there and just basically almost got us into trouble with China.
That Xi Jinping exploded in anger over the constant acts of disrespect from the leader. In an unprecedented revelation, Beijing has exposed a list of the 4 exact moments they considered a direct affront to their nation. The last of them almost triggered a world war. First, Xi was outraged when he saw that the leader arrived escorted by the world's most powerful tycoons. As a pressure tactic, China's response was forceful. They did not personally receive him, to show that nobody intimidates Beijing.
Wow.
Second, during a high-level meeting, the leader fell asleep while Xi Jinping was speaking. This act of disrespect is considered unforgivable in Asian culture and destroyed the seriousness of the meeting.
Wow.
Third, during the state dinner, a symbolic centuries-old protocol mistake occurred. The leader rejected the cushion that would have allowed him to sit at the same height as Xi. According to Chinese protocol, rejecting this gesture of equality means despising the host's willingness to engage in dialogue and declaring no interest in negotiating as equals.
Wow.
Fourth, the most outrageous moment came when the leader, taking advantage of a moment of distraction, looked through Xi Jinping's private documents that were lying on...
Look at this. Look at this. Look at him.
This complete violation of trust became the breaking point.
This man is dangerous. This man is dangerous. Just literally went to China trying to intimidate President Xi, bringing all of his little billionaire buddies. Xi said, you know what? I'm not even going to show up at the tarmac to meet you like I did Putin yesterday. I'm going to make you sit on some ice until I get done talking to you, until I get ready for you. And then you get him just being totally disrespectful. What, you can't stay awake? What's wrong with you? You don't think this is a serious job, right? See, this is the problem with Donald Trump and his supporters. You think this is a game. And then you're going to try to look at his notes while he gets up and goes to go give a speech. We are literally, ladies and gentlemen, the laughing stock of the world. We have a very unserious president. It's like Vice President Kamala Harris said. He's a very unserious person, but the consequences of what he does is very serious. We're on like I said, I haven't said it in a while, but it's so obvious right now. We are on the verge of basically having a 1929 style depression, one like we've never seen before because of this demon. And the sad part about it is MAGA and Blaga are cheering this nonsense on. And that's why I got to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, join me in warming up the lake of fire. It's with great pleasure. No, Zeus, don't do it. They're Americans too. Don't send them to hell. Well, what else do you expect me to do when you have a bunch of incompetent, sick, demonically possessed, wicked folks who brand themselves as Christians? I have no other choice but to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending these demons straight to hell. Thank you. Thank you.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
Now let's get into some of this stuff going on with Iran. But before we do, I want to preface it with just what people are saying, honestly, about Donald Trump and his sheer incompetence. Okay,
that this meeting was planned way ahead of time.
So this is talking about his meeting with President Xi, but it's tied to Iran. Just listen to how a lot of people are highlighting how much of a failure this entire administration has been.
That this meeting was planned way ahead of time, which I know it was. And Mr. Trump and your buddies, military industrial guys, had all this plan. I'm kidding you. They were going to go to China and look at Trump and look at Mr. Xi and say, here's here's Maduro's head, and here's the Ayatollah's head. We've conquered both of those countries. We now have their oil vis-a-vis your oil, China, because I know you depended on that. By the way, our military is incredible, much bigger than yours and stronger than yours, and so is our economy. But none of that ended up being true because of what's happened as a result of what happened in Iran. So Iran was a game changer. Iran undid whatever plan they made months ago. So they go there now with nothing, as you say, with no cards to play. But they have the meeting anyway, thinking that Mr. Trump, through his personality, is going to convince Xi that they do. And my sense is, Michael, Xi looked at him and said, "What are you talking about? Your military's gotten its ass kicked. You're not going to be able to do that here with Taiwan, like what you even tried to do in Iran. As far as your economy, you're in really bad shape because of the inflation, because of the Iran war right now. And as far as anything else goes, we're not buying. So
Well,
Everything
President
changed, but
Xi-
nobody recognized it in the West, it seems.
You see this? We look weak on a global stage because Donald Trump's plans are literally falling apart. Because when you have the most incompetent administration ever known to mankind running the United States, this is what you get. So remember, DJ, and by the way, whoever reported me, you guys are these folks are sick. You're some sick folks that can't handle the truth. All I've been doing. Have I lied at all yet, ladies and gentlemen? Have I lied one time? No, we are literally day 81 of the war. What happened to 4 to 6 weeks? Where are the people at that told us this war would be over in 4 to 6 weeks? Where are you? Why don't you get on this app, get up here and apologize to every single person on this app? Because that's what you said you would have done. You were going to do. They said they would. Oh, yeah, it won't be there. We won't be there long. No. But they won't apologize, right? Because these are hypocrites. W's in the chat from Miss Renee. Thank you so much. Gregory Jones, Angus, DJ, Overseer Dame. Where are y'all at? At a bare minimum, be a man. Because you always say that, the liberal men and the liberal white women, they're not strong. They crash out. No. Why don't you show us what real strong conservative values are by getting on this app and issuing public apologies, deep-throated, not like that, but seriously, deep-throated apologies. Day 81, and he's already talking about restarting the war? Gas prices are still sky high, and we ain't heard nothing from you. Not one doggone apology. Hey, those people I was arguing with yesterday? No, don't talk to us about black issues. Nah, black folks ain't have nothing to do with this. Why don't you bring those charts and all those graphs you had, come on over here to this side of TikTok and issue a public apology. WVIP! Day 81 of the war. Ladies and gentlemen, and this is what's currently going on in Donald Trump and his administration. They won't say any of this.
Trump keeps sending mixed messages in his war on Iran, even as the Senate moves to control his war powers, while Tehran vows any return to war will feature many more surprises. Here's everything you need to know about the past 24 hours.
We're going to end that war very quickly. They want to make a deal so badly.
We're locked and loaded. We don't want to go down that pathway, but the president is willing and able to go down that pathway if we have to.
Once again, U.S. President Donald Trump has told lawmakers the end to the war on Iran is imminent, and claims to have paused the strike on Iran at the request of Gulf countries. He says Tehran has 2 to 3 days to strike a deal or face renewed military action.
Yeah,
But
right.
while Trump talks tough, lawmakers in Washington are pushing back. The U.S. Senate has moved forward a war powers resolution to limit his ability to resume strikes on Iran without their approval, a rare challenge to his authority. This move comes amid anger over the war's $29 billion price tag. Despite the vote, it's far from a done deal. Trump can veto it himself, but Congress could still override him.
And then you have the Democrats, I call them the Democrats, putting in a bill that Trump should immediately stop. Do you know how it is to negotiate with a country where you're beating them badly? They come to the table,
Wow.
They're begging to make a deal, because they're begging to make a deal.
While some in Washington are
Incompetence.
finally seeking to restrain Trump, the U.S. is still refusing to take responsibility for one of the deadliest incidents of this war. The strike on a girls' school in Manab that killed 170 children and school staff on February 28.
Look at that. Where are these conservatives at? Pro-lifers, right? The ones that claim they truly care about children. Where are you? Bring the graphs, bring your little URLs and links you got, and come on over here and apologize to all of us and apologize to the world for being a bunch of liars and a bunch of hypocrites. Nothing grinds my gears more than to sit here and watch folks who profess to be Christians run around social media lying and just being the nastiest, vilest disgusting, folks, you could ever hear. Nothing grinds my gears more than that. Where is the accountability?
The first day of the war. Admiral Brad Cooper, the head of U.S. Central Command, appeared before the House Armed Services Committee to answer questions over the attack.
So that's a no. We will not take responsibility for something we very obviously did.
It's a complex investigation. The school itself is located on an active IRGC cruise missile.
Look at how he lied.
It's more complex than the average strike.
To clarify, the school is not located on an active military base. There is one, however, not far away. Iran called Cooper's claim an appalling lie and the strike a war crime. Tehran also issued its own threats back at Trump.
Wow.
Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said in a post on X, "With lessons learned and knowledge we gained, a return to war will feature many more surprises."
Wow.
He also points to a U.S. Congressional Research Service report highlighting U.S. military losses during the war, including that Iran shot down an F-35 fighter jet.
Wow.
This war continues to pull in more actors, with Russia's President Vladimir Putin meeting his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping days after Trump's visit to Beijing. Moscow is betting that the disruption in the Strait of Hormuz will push Beijing to depend on Russian energy that can be transported over land. Russia has also renewed an offer to take in Iran's stockpile of enriched uranium. A similar deal existed under the JCPOA, which Trump abandoned in 2018.
You see that? So, wow, ladies and gentlemen. So, we're on day 81 of the war, and I just gave you an update. Courtesy of Al Jazeera. And what I want to do is this. Are there any Trump supporters out there that want to come up and apologize to all of us? All right. And just say, and you say, well, what should you apologize for? We're well outside of 4 to 6 weeks. And the excuse, oh, well, the Vietnam War lasted this long and the Iraq War lasted this long. That doesn't work over here. Apologize for supporting Donald Trump into committing the United States of America to another forever war without getting congressional approval. You can say, oh, don't call it a war. Well, what do you want to call it then? What do you want to call this situation where we're in armed conflict with Iran? Our allies don't even want to do anything to help us, right? They're not helping us. China refuses to get involved, but they're involved because they're supplying Iran. Russia is actually involved because they're supplying Iran. And you look here on the domestic front, and our gas prices are literally through the roof. What would you like to call this? Oh, an operation, Ray? Well, when are you going to apologize for this operation lasting more than 4 to 6 weeks? Are you willing to come up here and apologize, Ray? Are you willing to come up here and apologize and admit that you lied to all of us? Or are you just going to say it from the comment section? Typical. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what gets Mike. This is what look at, she's mocking. Oh, not day 81. You see, it's a joke to them. It's a joke when they go and put gas in their cars and they're spending an extra 30% or more, maybe 50% or more, right, on gas. It's hilarious to them. Well, it's not hilarious to me. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending these liars and these hypocrites where they truly belong. Straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
And by the way, boo to whoever reported the live. You guys are sick. I must be hurting feelings. I must be hurting your feelings. All right, moving it along. All right, seriously. So the next thing, W's in the chat for Rick. All right, Dolphin. I see it. Thank you for hitting the Cash App, Dolphin. So, while Donald Trump should be focusing on ending the war with Iran and bringing down our gas prices, W. Dolphin, look at what is currently dominating the networks and the headlines. This is something being talked about all over social media. And it is Donald Trump literally setting aside a pot of money to pay his henchmen who attacked the Capitol on January 6th, and many of us know what this is. Many of us know exactly what this is.
George, and this is an extraordinary and potentially very lucrative move for President Trump and his family, protecting them from pending audits and tax prosecutions. This morning, in a stunning move, the Justice Department announcing the IRS is dropping all audits of President Trump and his family, declaring it is, quote, forever barred and precluded from pursuing any previous claims against the president, his sons, and their businesses.
Are y'all okay with that out there? Basically, it's a blank check for the Trump crime. It's the blank check for the Trump crime family. They can get away with basically anything.
Arrangement that could significantly benefit the Trump family financially. The announcement tacked on to an already unprecedented settlement between Trump and his own government. The president dropping his $10 billion lawsuit against the IRS over the leak of his tax returns in exchange for the creation of a $1.8 billion fund in taxpayer money to benefit Trump allies who claim they were mistreated by the Biden Justice Department.
Wow. Literally committing fraud right in front of us. Hey, Ray, are you okay with this? Honestly, because I just told you about high cost of living for us here in the United States. Isn't it amazing? We're on day 81 of the war, and his priorities really aren't on ending it. It's on making sure him and his family can continue to enrich themselves.
That's arguing it's a slush fund for Trump supporters.
This is corruption that has never been more blatant or more widespread. What is happening is you write the check, Trump and his cronies cash it, American taxpayers who are already being whacked with high prices are going to foot the bill.
Even Senate Republican leader John Thune says he's, quote, not a big fan of the fund.
I think that there are and will be, continue to be, a lot of questions around that the administration is going to have to answer.
Among those who could benefit, those who were charged in connection with the January 6th attack on the Capitol, including roughly 600 people who were charged with obstruction or assaulting police. At least 170 pleaded guilty, and dozens of others were found guilty by juries. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, Trump's former personal attorney, who orchestrated the agreement, grilled on Capitol Hill.
Will individuals who assaulted Capitol Hill police officers be eligible for this fund?
Well, as it makes plain, anybody is
just let me know if they're eligible for the fund.
As was made plain yesterday, anybody in this country is eligible to apply if they believe they're a victim of weaponization.
And while the administration...
Isn't it impressive, ladies and gentlemen, that these are the same sick... Let me get on the... I got to talk to him. This is why I got to get on Blagga. Blagga, they know, and if they don't know, shame on them. But they know very clearly, it's ingrained in their DNA, what happened during slavery. The full weight of the American government was placed on their ancestors. And not just random moments. No, there were literally laws on the books, all right, to prevent them from owning anything. And if they owned anything, there were laws on the books to make sure that it could be taken from them legally. There were laws on the books that allowed them to do things to women, black women especially, black men especially. You know, they suffered in different ways at the hands of the United States government as a result of slavery. And when the conversation about reparations is even mentioned, it pains me that Blagga will literally get on social media and say, black people don't deserve reparations. What black people need to do is they need to apply themselves and they need to work real hard and stop being victims. They will literally say this to folks like me. And if you say that, Zeus, you're just a weak man. And I say, whoa, would they really say this stuff? Could you imagine if your ancestors came back and revisited you, you went in a time machine and you told them some stuff, some foolishness like that after they had just been robbed, And that's the lightest way. There's a lot of things that happen. Could you imagine saying that to your ancestors, Blagga? You don't deserve nothing. But then you'll walk away from them and say, yeah, I told them. And then you'll go over to your massa. I call it massa. What I'm doing is, this is plantation talk. I got to talk to these folks. This is plantation talk, plantation rhetoric. These are terms that they're familiar with. When I say these words like overseer, driver, they know what I mean. And I'm shocking them in a way back into the mindset I need them to be in. So then they'll go, you don't deserve anything, to people they know have been truly victimized by the United States government. But then they'll go and watch the same folks who attacked the United States government tried to unalive the vice president of the United States. They'll sit back and watch the president of the United States, who clearly is a racist, reward these folks who happen to mostly be white, if we're being frank, and say, those folks were mistreated. Those folks were mistreated by the federal government. They deserve reparations for trying to burn the United States government down. In my name. This is why I get on Blagga so much. What a disgrace. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, join me in warming up the Lake of Fire. They hate it when I say it. This is for every single Trump supporter out there, and you know exactly who you are, that continues to run around here and say, oh, you don't deserve reparations, black people. But then you'll turn around and allow Donald Trump and his family to enrich themselves and give reparations out to the people who are clearly treasonous. Ladies and gentlemen, because they're white, join me in sending these demons where they truly, truly belong. Straight to hell. Yeah.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
That's a huge W, Zeus. I told you.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave.
I told you. What I do is, I expose who Donald Trump really is to his supporters, and I do it in a way where they understand. And it's dirty work, but it's like Vice President Kamala Harris said, hard work is good work. But back to the slush fund Donald Trump has created. I think this is a good way to describe what he's doing.
But I think that maybe the worst part of it is, this is him saying, if you do violence for me, not only will I make sure that you never suffer any consequences for your criminal actions, I'll break you out of jail like I'm a villain in Batman. And then on top of that, I'll pay you for the violence you did to try to end our democracy and steal the election for me. So that is financing your own brown shirts.
I mean, Trump made a deal with himself, essentially, right? This is his federal government, this is his administration. So he sued his administration, and his administration came back and gave him what he wanted. And the outcome of it is outrageous. Yeah. And the outcome of the suit is so controversial that the Treasury Department's top lawyer, who was appointed by Trump, has quit over it. So
what a disgrace! What a disgrace, ladies and gentlemen. Really, seriously, we're living in troubled times right now. Now, one of the other things that I wanted to follow up on was, Ashley St. Clair, ladies and gentlemen, this situation, I got to talk about it. I can't watch the whole video, but she released a video yesterday, and we all know that Elon did something with the 2024 election. And so what we'll do is we'll revisit what she has said. This is the latest. Why are you so afraid of him? Who, Gina? Who am I afraid of, Gina? Hold on. Thank you, mods, for pinning that. Gina, who am I afraid of? Come on up here, Gina. When the mods pin a comment like that, I'm assuming you were talking to me, Gina. I guess Gina wasn't talking to me, ladies and gentlemen. All right, fair enough. All right, Gina. Maybe you had a little bit of an outburst, I guess, but let's go ahead and finish up the content this morning. All right, we got a lot to deal with. Gina, and if you're asking me why are we so afraid, no one is afraid of Donald Trump unless you're Republicans. Republicans are afraid of him because they sold their souls to him. Maybe he has dirt on them or something like that. But for the most part, a lot of us, 100% of us, rejects everything about Donald Trump. Donald Trump could literally do something that you might find morally acceptable. But because of who he is, I refuse to even be a part of it, because I think of it as just him trying to figure out another way to try to manipulate me. He's a disgusting person. You see his hands? I mean, seriously, would you let him touch you with those hands? Any of you women out here that like Donald Trump, would y'all let him touch you with those hands? Seriously. All right, but let's listen to Ashley Sinclair give us more insight in terms of how Elon Musk supposedly or allegedly interfered with the 2024 election. You got to watch the whole video. Follow her on Instagram. I mean, not Instagram, but TikTok yourself to watch the whole thing. We're not going to do it, but we're going to get a little dose of it.
Get ready with me while I talk a little bit more about things that are probably going to get me in trouble. Those who don't know, my name is Ashley St. Clair. I was a MAGA influencer involved in MAGA politics for almost a decade.
Listen up, Ray.
There are a lot of people who are, saying, why didn't you say anything sooner? Okay, let's talk about the satellites again and what Elon had told me about the satellites and the election and his weird ass real-time data that I'm unsure how he had. First of all, I am unaware of any law that says thou shalt not use satellites in elections, okay? At this time, I had just had a child with this man. I did not think it was illegal. It probably isn't, to be honest. I find it strange to be like, why didn't you punch the most powerful, insane people in the face sooner when you have 2 babies to take care of? Like, this isn't just Elon, this is also Trump and the current administration and the people who run quite literally every federal agency, okay? First and foremost, I needed to make sure that I had protections in place, not for myself, but for my babies, who are my entire world, okay? And through a very long, laborious, and painful process, that has been accomplished. And again, I have my second child in September, okay? September of 2024. And while I am in the delivery room alone with my mother, I am getting messages from, if anyone knows, then everyone's gonna die. I don't know. He's like scaring the shit out of me, honestly. But this is how these people operate. They operate through fear. They want you to think that if you speak up, something catastrophic will happen. Yeah. One thing that was interesting about the data, the internal data he sent me from America Pack, one of the charts had, oh my God, ew. Milestones, like comparative milestones on it. So they were tracking real-time Delta vote metrics, which again, not sure how you do that before election day, whatever. And they're tracking this and seeing how it changes with the cash prizes Elon is offering, from the I think it was like $47, then they upped it, and then the $1 million prize. So they are tracking this. And he quite explicitly did this to like bribe men to vote, because I was having a conversation with him back in September and I said, it's ridiculous that they shit on women so much for voting, the way they don't like, because men don't even vote. Like, they don't even vote at the same rate as men. They're just mad that we are better at voting than them. And Elon like gets all hyped up and he's like, I will make them vote. I'm the best goddamn general in the world. They just need a carrot.
Wow.
And then he announces this fucking $1 million prize, okay?
I remember this.
There's also a cohort of maggots who are saying that I'm doing this for attention. What the fuck? You think I'm risking my life for attention? I can assure you there are much better ways for me to get attention than, making myself a target from literally the most powerful people in the world, from the White House to Elon Musk, okay? What the fuck is wrong with you people? There's also a cohort of people, like I said, there is a very respectable individual who has the text and documents with the information that I disclosed yesterday. And there's a lot of people who are like, why don't you give this to a big journalist? Why don't you give this to a big outlet? Okay, if you guys don't understand how the media and like actual credentialed journalism works, they are not going to run a headline based on my text with Elon, based on like my signal messages with Elon. That's not how this works. Real reporting takes a lot of time, okay? But I will say I've had a lot of time over the last year and a half here. There's also a strange cohort who's like, well, you know, I just don't understand how you changed your views. I'm telling you, what do you mean? How are you asking me why I hate capitalism now after I'm telling you that the richest man in the world was texting me about his space lasers for the election? I also think some people just don't, they like to hyperfixate on like the very MAGA things I said, but like back in December of 2024, I was on the same side as Bernie Sanders on the H-1B visa debate and saying that these people just wanted slave labor and indentured servants, okay? I was the biggest opponent on MAGA on the H-1B visa issue. Because I was like, these people, first of all, what's happening now with the H-1B visa body shops is a human civil rights violation. Like, it is disgusting what they're doing to these people. And these corporations just want like low-wage slave labor because they're very upset that they're not allowed to have slaves anymore, which is why they're building all these data centers and AI, because they're like, oh, well, you know what? This fucking sucks. If we're not allowed to have slaves, we'll just build them and you all can die. And also, something that was really helpful for me was reading more Black thought leaders. So back in August of 2025, I read a lot of Du Bois and Robinson and Eric Williams, and it just opened, first of all, it confirmed some of the things I was thinking about capitalism and about our current system, but it also just opened my eyes to systems of oppression that I had never seen before. I had never read. You know, I read my first slave narrative at 25, 26. And honestly, if I would have just read these books and listened to the people who've been screaming in the wind, they've been trying to tell us everything that I'm saying to you right now, okay? I can guarantee you there is not a singular Black American who is surprised by what I am telling you right now whatsoever. The people who are like most shocked by this are like the white liberal ladies. They're like very upset. They're like, oh my God, how could they do this? But the Black people are not amused, okay? And I don't mean that like disparagingly about the white liberal ladies, because they've been so sweet. They're like, we feel like we want to take you under our wing and be a mom to you because we're scared for you. And I really do appreciate that. However, I also want people to recognize that there are people who have been saying that these very wealthy elitists are capable of this, and they've done this before. This is most Silicon Valley and Wall Street bros would be very proficient in plantation accounting. This is kind of unrelated, but it just kind of popped into my head, so I'm gonna talk about it. Elon was very manipulative in his relationships, and I noticed this even with people who were like his friends. There's this kid, well, he's a grown-ass man, but he just like looks like a kid. This kid, Andreas Stropa.
So what we're hearing here, ladies and gentlemen, as far as I am concerned, is very concerning, honestly. I don't want to play the rest of it, but you can go watch it the rest of yourself. We have a scenario happening, and the part that really bothered me is when she said she didn't know using lasers was illegal. I think everyone, Ashley, honestly knows that election interference is illegal. Come on now, you just can't say that to Big Zeus. We all know election interference is illegal. But on a serious note, though, it sounds to me like, in a way, you're actually doing a little bit of unpacking into a lot of the nasty stuff that I've talked about on this show, because I think she touched on it very well. MAGA represents a lot of things. Number one, grifting. You got to be a grifter off top. But then you go a little further to the right, you end up in that misogynist and racist territory. And I've covered that quite a bit. And then you go a little further to the right, you get into that seditionist territory, right? And then you go further to the right. Where are we at? Epstein. You know what Epstein did, right? And they're defending it. And then you go further to the right, you're into this warmongering territory. But I choose, honestly, as crazy as what she's saying, as crazy as what she is saying sounds, and she's putting her makeup on, right? And I'm like, how are you putting the makeup on so good while telling us probably one of the craziest stories? I actually said, I choose to believe it. I really choose to believe that Elon Musk has technology, maybe the lasers. I could be wrong, but yeah, because what happened to Vice President Kamala Harris? I really... No, she had way more momentum than Trump. And then you get the staged Butler incident and all that other stuff and all that other jazz. He won all 7 swing states. Give me a break. What do you believe? Do we believe Donald Trump? This is how crazy it is. Do you believe that Trump won all 7 swing states? Or do you believe that Elon used lasers? Which one is it? I'm curious. Which one is it? Swing states or lasers? Which one, ladies and gentlemen? Because we're stuck between a rock and a hard place, really. Swing state or lasers? Okay, everyone says lasers. All right, W's to the chat. Thank you, because this is crazy. She's putting on makeup, telling us about lasers, and then I'm like, well, do I believe that, or do I want to believe Donald Trump won the swing states? I'm going to choose the lasers. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in warming up the Lake of Fire once again. And this is, to me, this is the real threat going on. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending Donald Trump and his administration straight to hell, stealing elections. This is lasers. We all believe the lasers.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
The crazy thing about MAGA is, and if we could be honest, they have all these crazy conspiracies and they say things and you're just like, give me a break. You sound crazy. That's how that Epstein stuff started out, right? I mean, I'll be honest with you. When they started talking about Epstein and all this stuff about, they were wrong about the details, but their suspicion, I had to say, you know what? Maybe I should start taking a little more under consideration, because you got to be crazy to be MAGA. You got to be crazy to be MAGA. And so I'm sitting here listening to this and I said, what is really happening during the midterms? And this is what really scares me. And I don't normally get scared. It's really not the gerrymandering. Because I still think, for the most part, most Americans, they want to do the right thing and they're not going to go along. But it's the cheating. It's the blatant cheating that I see Trump doing. And an example of it is the $1.8 billion fund. He's basically paying people to go make sure, if you go to intimidate these people when they try to vote and you do it for me, I'll get you some money and I won't even let them convict you. That's what he's doing. So he's got people on payroll ready to ambush places where he knows there's going to be a lot of Democrats turning out. So I see that threat. But then I also see the Elon and what his relationship is with these folks in tech. I'm going, they could literally, you saw what he just did to Thomas Massey and all these his other fellow Republicans. I'm like, do I really think he's putting out really good ads? Or do I think maybe these lasers are still working? And this is what I'm really concerned about. Honestly, this is the cheating you got to be on the lookout for. So yeah, you got to get out here and vote, but you also got to be able to monitor the situation and make sure Donald Trump isn't trying to steal. All right. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, I was going to play some more, but I'm looking at the time. Let's go ahead and open up the chat and hear from those of you who are brave enough to get in the box and tell the truth and shame the devil. You know the rules. Send a guest request. And what we'll do is we'll listen to you and we'll try to keep you on track. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that folks are able to actually hear credible information as much as possible. And we try to get it right as much as we can. All right, so that's a huge W, Zeus. All right, we're bringing up our first panelist. Good morning, Dolphin. Yes, make sure you're following Zeus. Follow this live stream. Good morning, Dolphin. How are you doing this morning?
I woke up.
Oh, how is it going?
You know, I've literally learned with this daybed, apparently for some reason, I just keep waking up on the wrong side of it.
Yeah.
I have bars on one side, which means I can only wake up on one side. Never mind.
Oh, don't worry.
It was a joke that apparently flew over everybody's head.
Well, you know, people are concerned, Dolphin.
Well, nobody need to be concerned about me.
Yeah.
So, I am freaking livid. I don't know about you guys in the chat, but what the actual F is going on in this country where we have a sitting president, a Congress who is feckless, and a Supreme Court who will give a green light to any criminal gosh darn act that he commits. MAGA, why aren't you angry that your tax dollars are being stolen from you?
Tell him, Dolphin.
And I will repeat that. Stolen from you to give to criminals, to give to people who supported that thing that's currently in office.
You called him a thing?
Well, Dad, look, he wants to look. I've been calling him that for like 5 years. Honestly, if he wants to dehumanize people, I will do the same to him.
Thank you.
How dare you, MAGA? And I guarantee you, you guys were celebrating this.
They were.
Huh. Oh, waste, fraud, and abuse from any other president. You would be going crazy. And when I made a video and I said Biden, Obama, and I said, no, let me correct myself. Any other president, you guys would be losing your crap.
Thank you. Tell him, Dolphin.
And you want to know, I'm going to say this much. Yes, I'm on Social Security disability, but guess what? I pay taxes on my Social Security.
I thought there was no tax on Social Security. Hold on. The big beautiful bill passed, Dolphin. Didn't he say no tax on Social Security?
He did, but unfortunately, that does not apply to me.
Oh. Here he goes again. This is what I'm talking about. Wow. He's been bragging about it, and it's just unfortunate that you still have people out here. Look at all these other people. They say it doesn't apply to them either.
Yeah.
Oh, but he's bragging about it. This is one of his reasons for encouraging people to vote for the Republicans.
You know, I mean, they don't even realize that a Democrat was the one that introduced that legislation in there. He didn't want that in there. None of the GOP did. They don't want to help us, guys.
Wow.
They're taking away funding for HBCUs. They've removed USAID.
Wow.
They're taking your food stamps. They're taking your Medicaid.
Wow.
They're taking your Medicare. And eventually we'll privatize Social Security because somehow the Trump accounts, which is just another little Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
Oh, and so is Trump RX. You guys need to wake up and see that this current administration is committing treason to the highest extent.
Thank you, W's in the chat for Dolphin. I didn't tell you to say that. That's based on your own assessment. Am I correct?
I'm livid.
W.
You have oh my God, thank you.
Yes, W. Tara.
I'm absolutely livid. I cannot believe what is going on in this country.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that there are millions of people that are okay with this. And honestly, somebody said it the other day. They're like, this is even worse than Jim Jones.
You think so?
Did Jim Jones have millions of people just willing to say, everybody does it, so it's okay for this guy to do it?
No, I don't think he had the same amount. I don't think he had the same amount. You're right.
Not even, yeah.
You're right. You're right. I mean, because when you can get
it was you. Thank you, Tink. I knew it was her. I knew it was somebody.
What was that?
Tink is the one that said that mentioned it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, W. Tinkerbell. Yeah. You know, when you have folks out here, Dolphin, that are literally saying it's okay for Donald Trump to commit fraud, how can you argue against that? I've ran across folks. I was in a live the other day, and they were getting upset about Democrat places committing fraud. You know, Medicare. You know, the Medicaid. You know, and
are they not paying attention? Oh my God! I'm sorry. I'm screaming.
No. Go for it. They get upset about Democrat places supposedly committing fraud. You know, they go to Minnesota, Ilhan Omar, and then you ask them, what about Donald Trump and all the fraud he's been committing, right?
Do they realize that the people that they attack are the ones that aren't criminals? James Comey.
Yes.
Not a good guy. Not a great guy. But I don't believe that he is a criminal.
Yeah.
AOC has never taken any PAC money.
Wow.
But they're going after her. Bernie Sanders. Great freaking guy.
Yeah.
Going after him. Jasmine Crockett does not take no crap from nobody.
Thanks.
Going after her. Ilhan Omar did not freaking marry her brother.
W. Dolphin. I love it.
Another non-criminal. Let's go to Mom Donnie. Mom Donnie, the freaking best mayor of New York, who balanced the budget.
I saw
Was
that.
it 5 months after he got in?
Yeah.
5 months?
Yeah, I saw that. Filled the potholes, did a lot of things. Grocery stores for the city. I mean, it's impressive.
And yes, Gina with the AI. You know, I love RTP, and he explained exactly what the Shark Tank guy is doing. He's not doing it for the AI data center because he's just a freaking idiot. He doesn't know what AI is. I was listening to him, and he was like, AI is AI, and it'll make so many jobs. No, it doesn't. Anyways, he wants access to that natural gas pipeline that's right underneath it.
Wow.
And his goal is to sell the gas back to the people.
Once again,
so he's going to rip you guys off.
Yeah, making us pay for the AI centers so that they can turn around and then sell it. Yeah, enrich themselves. It's always the scam with MAGA and Blaga. W's in the chat for Dolphin.
And let's not forget your wonderful governor, Mr. Gavin Newsom. Now, I may not like him very much because he is an established Democrat. I don't really, but he freaking balanced the budget in California.
Go ahead, Dolphin.
But
they get so mad at him.
Money. Oh, and one other thing that's going to make I'm going to go off right now. All y'all maggots that are sitting there saying that the Democrats were funding the Triple K through the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Oh, my God.
Who are the ones that are giving reparations to freaking terrorists now?
Ooh. And that went right over their head. I see what you just did right there. W. Dolphin right there. That's serious business. Where'd you come up with that, Dolphin? That was a good one. I'm going to have to borrow that from you. Yeah.
Well, actually, as soon as somebody mentions it, I have critical thinking, and that's exactly what popped in my brain when I thought of it.
Wow.
I was like, but the Democrats are paying the Triple K, but you're going to pay off Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, 3%ers, people that try to overthrow the government.
Wow.
White nationalists. And I'm going to give you guys a new word.
Wow.
I'm going to give you guys a new word to call these people because my friend, Rev, I call him Rev. His name on here is Revolution Washington. He calls them Hippochristians.
Hippochristians, yeah.
Hippochristians.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Thank you. Well, listen, thank you, Dolphin. Thank you. You brought it this morning, all right? I appreciate it.
Thank you for all the gifts, guys.
And they love you out there. Keep up the good work, Dolphin. This is what we like to do.
All right, let me leave myself out.
All right. Thank you. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my goodness. Don't you love it when you get honesty and transparency on this platform right here? I mean, that's all we want. We want people to honestly be accurate and at the end of the day, inform us about what's really going on. one of the groups of folks that we really need to hear from, and it's MAGA. Hey, any Trump voters out there willing to come up here and apologize to Big Zeus and the rest of us? I know you're out there. I've been reported like 2 times already. Yeah, I mean, you know who's doing it. How come you never want to? Why don't you just send a guest request, and then why don't we just air this out, all right? And make sure you're following me if you haven't already. Please follow Big Zeus. Make sure you're following me, all right? They're crickets? Yeah. They literally disappear as soon as you start telling them, come on up here and explain what's going on. Good morning, J.E.'s.
Greetings, brother. I'm not a Trump supporter because I know how to read, but I try to make this short.
Okay.
Excuse me, because of course we had a bunch of primaries yesterday, and here in Alabama we had one for the gubernatorial race.
Right.
So the person who won the primary on the Democrat side is Doug Jones. Doug Jones was one senator of this state. It was seen as a shock. It was seen as an upset. But if we're being honest, he only won because Roy Moore was such a horrible candidate that I think even Republicans may have voted for him. However, let me talk just a little bit about Doug Jones for those who are unfamiliar with him. Doug Jones successfully prosecuted the last 2 surviving Triple K members who was responsible for the Birmingham bombing. That's one of the things at the very top of his list. He also helped prosecute Eric Rudolph, which was the guy who did a similar attack on the 96 Atlanta Olympics. Doug Jones is not as far left as I would like him to be. He's actually considered a bit moderate, which I thought that would help him, which I hope still helps him. A lot of the things that he was trying to do when he was senator, he supported aid for struggling rural hospitals and coal miners, by the way, for their healthcare benefits. He was heavy that was supporting the poor Southern Appalachian communities. These are the things that Doug Jones is really known for. And he's going to go up against a man with a silly name who's intellectually dumb and once coached the Auburn Tigers.
Go ahead, brother.
That is literally his qualifications.
What is your message to the people in the great state of Alabama?
My message to the people in the great state of Alabama, and I put quotations on that, is this. Don't elect this man just because he once coached football. Because in Alabama, if it ain't Roll Tide, it's War Eagle, and vice versa. That's all you have to have. You have a commercial with you holding a football, a firearm, and mention Trump, and you're skyrocketed to the top of the nominations.
Really?
Alabama.
Wow. Y'all listen
I challenge you.
Y'all listen to what Jay Real is saying in the state of Alabama.
I challenge you, Alabamians, to please, even if you are Republican, even if you are, challenge your candidates to be something about more than Trump backed or more than, pro 2A, because believe it or not, a lot of people who vote Democrat are also pro 2A.
True.
I
agree with that. A lot of us are. A lot of us are.
One of y'all mistakes is believing that leftists and liberals don't own weapons. Please stop with that. We're not trying to take anybody's away. We're just asking you to be smart about it.
Thank you.
But yes, if you care about what the message from Alabama is to the rest of the nation, I would think you would care about a man who actually prosecuted, and helped convict one of the worst tragedies in this country's history over the man who had a winning season at Auburn that is still debated on whether or not they're the national champions.
You have a very, 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 very valid point. All right, W's in the chat for JEs. Now, you know what I'm going to ask you to do next is what is the message to, and these are the people I struggle with the most, Blaga in Alabama. What is your message to them, Blaga in Alabama? Because you know they're there.
Yeah, so my message to them is in Lowndes County, a predominantly black county. It has been for a long time. At one point in Lowndes County, that is, again, predominantly black, around 80 to 90%, there was no black people voting one year at all. And it's not because they didn't want to. It's because they were forced not to. In the same Lowndes County where the blueprint of the Black Panther Party was started, was in Lowndes County, the blueprint of them. Not saying that what ultimately got out to California is what it was, but it's the blueprint. I'm saying in Lowndes County right now that has a problem with their water system, with literal raw sewage running in people's backyards, some of their front yards. These are kids who have to walk by these yards sometimes just to get on the bus to go to school. I'm saying that your president, Blaga, your president and your administration stopped the funds that was going to Lowndes County to fix their water system because your administration said that they were doing so because it was unfair in the lens of DEI. And I want you, Blaga, to tell me, what does DEI have to do with clean water? And when you can't tell me that, the thing that I'm going to ask you is DEI, and you know who they attack for DEI, not the people who are actually truly benefiting from DEI. You know who they attack from DEI. Then I tell you Lowndes County is 80 to 90% black, and I want you to tell me again, what does DEI have to do with clean water? And I want you to look in the mirror.
No. Oh, that's painful, bro. That's really painful. Any Blaga out there want to respond and answer these questions? Because I don't know if you've been noticing it. I'm having a very, very difficult time getting answers out of MAGA and Blaga as of late. I'm having a very difficult time. No one responded. Wow. Wow.
Good brother, I've been on this app since 2023, and most of my first 2 years was spent trying to educate people on some of the more basic things. I wasn't even going into depths of the bill and all of the jargons in the bills. I started by trying to tell people the difference between race, ethnicity, and nationality. And I spent so much time on that I asked myself, why am I having to do this?
You have a calling. You have a calling. But I get your issue. It's challenging, right? Trying to engage folks who refuse to be educated, for instance, or refuse to learn, right? And they're comfortable in their dark place of ignorance. I get it.
Which is my other point to Blaga and MAGA as a whole. There's a county in Kentucky that overwhelmingly voted for Trump. They did a story on this a couple years ago, and Trump's plans around tearing down the Department of Education. One of the things that people didn't realize is the Department of Education, for the most part, has nothing to do with what's going on in the classroom in terms of what the kids are learning. The Department of Education is mostly a financial arm, and it helps a lot of the schools that don't otherwise get the funding that they need from their local communities. Therefore, this small county in Kentucky, the superintendent can't even hire people as custodians.
Wow.
Instead, what he had to do is clean up himself, because he's like, I can hire them, but I won't have enough money to pay for them. And the money, any extra money that comes into our schools, we try to put it back into the schools and make sure kids are eating, because a lot of times if they're not in school, they are not eating. You're dismantling the Department of Education has nothing to do with what you believe your kids are learning or not learning.
Wow.
There are far more poor counties and poor districts around this country than there are wealthy or even just middle class. Your president.
You're telling them the truth.
Your president is tearing that down.
Wow. What a disgrace. What a disgrace. And I hope they're listening to you, brother, because I really do value you value education. I think education is very, very important, and I'm hoping that they are understanding that when Donald Trump takes these actions to attack your ability to get education, it's literally a direct assault on your livelihood. But
100%.
But thank you, brother. I'm gonna try to move it on. All right.
Absolutely.
And
Hey, look, man.
I appreciate
your time. I appreciate your show. Most of the time, I'm working during these hours, so I can't get in. But I'm always in the comments. So look, I appreciate you, man. Y'all have a good one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. W's in the chat. J.E.'s, and by the way, the music, bro. That music was very, very relaxing. I was like, shoot, why don't I just put my kickstand down and we just keep it busy doing what we do. Oh yeah. Let's see. Yeah, his voice was soothing too. Oh my gosh. Who do we got? Cool Keith. Welcome to the show. Cool Keith. Moving on, Cool Keith. You know the rules. Good morning, Shay. Welcome.
Hey. Good morning, my friends. Good morning, everyone.
How are you doing?
Wow. I'm doing great. Doing great, man. Doing great.
Awesome. Well, nice to see you checking in this morning, you know.
Of course. Of course. I always love checking in with you and the kingdom and keeping up with everything as much as I can. And I tell you, have you been watching the Ashley St. Clair TikToks?
Yeah, we just played the video.
She is?
Yeah, we just played one of her videos.
Cool.
Yeah, actually, we played it yesterday and today. We were talking about the cheating in the election.
Yes. Yes. Her stuff has been really fascinating to watch. And she really talks about how, as a young girl at 18, much what happened to Charlie Kirk, as to how they were recruited into Turning Point and the whole MAGA movement and how all that worked. And so she's really been talking a lot about that. And and just to listen to how she's woken up from it, right? Just all of her getting it. Like, you know, she's just slowly developing into this, like, okay, I'm realizing as I go back through texts with people, how much I played a role in these horrific racial attacks and anti-Semitism and transphobic, you know, attacks. Ashley St. Clair, Heidi, she is one of Elon Musk's baby mamas. I think, isn't she the mother of X, the little boy he carries around? I think that's her.
Oh, I don't know which one she is, but yeah, I know she's one of his baby mamas.
Yeah, she's the baby mama of X, I believe. Somebody fact check me, but I think that is correct. Of the little kid he carries around. He even took him to China recently.
Oh, she had the baby in 24, she said, right? So
okay, no, that baby is. Oh, okay, all right. No, this. Oh, okay, that's Grimes' the baby. Okay, all right, cool. All right, sorry guys. Thank you for the fact checking. Appreciate it. Yes, you guys are awesome. So I wasn't sure. I knew she was one of his baby mamas, but I couldn't remember. But yeah, no, I have found that very fascinating. Just how they're waking up, and a lot of as we watched the elections last night. Massey lost, right? And Cassidy lost because they stood up against, but these are hardcore Trump supporters that are showing up in the primary, but still their numbers are very low. And so it's going to be, and he also backed Ken Paxton, which I think is really going to help us win and put Tallarico in that seat. Because he's corrupt. Yeah. And all you have to do is show how corrupt that man is. Yeah. And I think that's a fairly not easy win, I would say, but that is absolutely going to do that because he picked him because he is a avid Trump supporter. He doesn't care about policy, you know, and what's going on here. So I think it's really clear what's going on with the Trump support or with the Trump gang. They don't care about the Eve victims. They don't care about women. They don't care about the impoverished. They don't care about American citizens and that they're suffering. You know, he said that on mic, I don't care if I could solve the war in Iran to help financials. He doesn't care about that.
True.
He doesn't care that you're having a hard time. So why do y'all care about him? Why do y'all care about Trump and he doesn't care about you?
He's owning the libs, Shay, according to what a lot of these folks on the right, you know, men and women sports stuff. That's why I don't know, but you know, we can't really get many answers from MAGA as of late, because I think they understand what's going on. They know that the jig is up. They know Donald Trump is terrible for the country. They know we're the laughing stock of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They do. They know. But again, it's just, I've said it so many times, like, it's just a football team for them. Like, this is my team. No matter what happens.
Wow.
You know, if we lose every single championship, it's still my team. Still gonna wear the jersey. You know, and that's really the mentality, because it can't go deeper than that. Because everything else has been proven to be false. Everything else has been proven to be a lie.
Yeah.
And it's just you just holding on to it because you don't want to admit you were lied to. And so I highly recommend for many of you to watch what Ashley St. Clair is saying, what Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying, what so many of them are saying. They're waking up out of the cult. They're literally calling it a cult.
But we don't like them, Shay, because look at the damage they did while they were supporting Donald Trump. Isn't it convenient that all of a sudden now they want to come clean to a degree? What say ye of that?
Yeah, I'm in no way saying, oh, let's wrap our arms around them and forgive them and all of that. I'm not saying any of that. No, heck no. But what, for me, this is a lesson of humans and how they think and how they can get duped. And, you know, as she talks about it, it made you feel important. You know, they really showered you if you were getting followers, and you know, they just really put you out there and made you feel like you were part of something. And that's why we call it a cult. It's feeling that importance of you're part of our team and we're going to jazz you up, and until when this stuff starts to fall apart, and where are you? Left there standing naked and alone when it all comes crumbling down.
Thank you.
And and it's sad.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. And I think it's important.
Yeah, a lot of Trump voters are going to end up doing exactly what Ashley Sinclair is doing with Marjorie. A lot of them have that. That's going to be part of their journey in life. Eventually, they're going to realize who's behind the curtain, so to speak. You know, the Wizard of Oz type, right? They're going to end up doing the exact same thing.
Yep. Toto's got the curtain. Toto's pulling on the curtain right now, and it's really starting to expose, and they're really starting to see it. DJ, what do you mean? So you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. Typical liberal thinking. What?
I don't know
what are you talking about.
we don't know what. I don't get what DJ is trying to say. I know he's using English. He's using English words, but honestly, none of it makes any sense whatsoever. None of it. But listen,
what's happened? Yeah, I mean, that's what happened to Massey, Trump, DJ. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? So what are you talking about? My liberal mindset? I don't have a liberal mindset. I have intelligence.
Oh, Dame is here.
Independent thought. That's what that is. That's what it's called. You know, I can think for myself. That's why we lost the election. The left, absolutely. If they just see the BS, they're not going to stand for it, right? Right or wrong. I mean, I prefer us to be a little bit more of a collective at times when we're fighting against what we're fighting against. But I also understood it as well. They're not going to be told how to vote.
Right.
They're not going to be told that they have to support this person if they don't agree with what is happening. So don't tell me I have a liberal mindset. That makes no sense. You're the one who voted for a fraud 3 freaking times. What mindset is that?
Shane. That always gets me. Once you get
I know. I'm like, you haven't figured it out and you voted for him 3 times, TJ? Don't come at me about some mindset.
It's not
you need to look in the mirror and look at yourself and decide, why are you so weak that you can't stand for what's right in this country? Stop. You're ridiculous. You're absolutely ridiculous.
Thank you.
Like,
Thank you.
He is exposed. It is out there now. Like,
but DJ, I'm glad that you are at least piping up in the comment section. Is it possible for you to get up here, DJ, and give us a full-throated public apology about Donald Trump's war not ending in 4 to 6 weeks, like you promised us it would? You remember you said it with your full chest. WVIP, DJ.
What policy, DJ? What policy has he done since he's been in office for 2.5 years? What policy has he done that he promised you besides, he closed the border? The border's not closed. Over 7,000 people are crossing every day. So it's not closed. So, and they're not deporting people. They're building more detention centers. So the mass deportations isn't working. So what has he done? Hey, DJ, what policy has he done that he promised you?
I'm happy to
That's what
talk
you
about
voted for.
policies. Do you want to talk about deregulation? Do you want to talk about the border? Do you want to talk about
I just
American
talked about the
strength?
border. The border's open and the deportation numbers are way down. Deporting like they said they would.
Well,
Everything he
that's-
promised,
I'm
he's
really-
not doing.
That's a great point, Shay. The deportation
isn't
numbers
it?
are way down. Why do you think that is?
Because they can't deport them because they don't know how to do it. So they're building they're building detention
Is there
centers to
another
hold them
option
in.
that it might be?
I love it. I
I
love
don't know,
it. So
DJ. Why don't you
DJ has
explain it to us
answers.
why he's failing on mass deportation?
Yeah, DJ has answers, Shay. This is the first time DJ is
obviously.
actually going to come up here with something of substance, I hope. So DJ, please explain to us why Donald Trump's you're saying he's doing good when it comes to immigration?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, tell me real quick. And then I'm going to pull up the polls on the immigration while you're talking, all right?
You can pull up whatever polls you want to, Zeus.
Okay, just go ahead.
I mean, pulling up the polls is not going to magnify exactly what the left has done as far as trying to make an enemy out of someone who is trying to do the right thing. You guys have fought deportation from the very day he was inaugurated. You've done everything you can to make it harder, including
so he can't
attacking
do it
federal. All right, including attacking federal agents. So you guys have tried to give this this moral compass that you're above. The way we're doing this is wrong, and it's exactly the way that it was done under a previous presidents. But
we also
because
protested
Donald Trump
against,
was doing it,
we
it's
also
wrong.
protested against Obama, but he was able to deport, right? So that's weird. That's really weird, right?
And Trump's tried to do it the exact same way that Obama did it.
And he's not doing it. Why?
Because
He's inept.
if you really have to ask that question, Shay, if you really have to ask that question,
I don't have to ask
then
any
you're
question.
telling
You're the
me
one
that-
up here, and this was the most important thing to you was deportations. Why
No,
was that the
absolutely
most
not.
important
No.
thing to you? How does that
No.
help you in your life?
Stopping the flood of illegal immigrants that was being placed into the country was absolutely high on my list of
It was
priorities.
already stopped before he even got in. Do you pay attention to anything?
All right, why don't you look that up, Zeus?
Biden
If
already
you wanna
was
bring up some
stopping
statistics,
it
look up the
before
statistics on what
Trump
she's
took
saying.
office. It was already stopping. It was
I'm
already
sorry?
in control. He hasn't done it, DJ. It's smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors. When you
So
look at the
you're
details,
saying-
it has
you're
nothing to do
saying
with
that
protesting,
illegal-
DJ. Has nothing to do with protesting. He's not doing it. What DeSantis closed down Alcatraz, Alligator Alcatraz, $1 billion of Florida's taxpayer money. And it's gone, wasted because of the ineptness of this administration and the
Was it
Republicans.
the ineptness of the administration or the virtue signaling of the left?
It has nothing to do with the virtue signaling. You either get
my
the job
goodness.
done or you
You
don't.
couldn't be more wrong.
You either get the job done or you don't. It has nothing to do with protests.
It absolutely has to do
No,
with
it
protests. It
doesn't.
absolutely
No, it
has to do
doesn't.
with scores of people who their only life's ambition was going out and stop the flow of work that was being done by ICE. And you guys egged it on
Stopping
every single
innocent
day.
people from
And
being
you still
pulled out of
do.
schools and families separated. Yeah, exactly.
Say that
People
again.
that were American citizens getting deported. Are you
How many
kidding
American
me?
citizens
Yeah,
have been
we
deported,
protested
Shay?
against that. We protested against that. Yeah.
How many American citizens were deported?
One is too many, sir. One is too
One is
many,
too many.
DJ. Wouldn't you
Okay.
agree?
Okay. Well, you guys
If
make it
you're
sound like
up on a bus and you're an
thousands of
American
people are being
citizen, I
done
think
every
you'd be
day.
a little
Well,
upset.
let's talk about something else. Let's forget about immigration for a minute, okay?
But
Oh,
DJ,
okay, good,
DJ.
because I won that one. Thank you.
W
All right,
Shay,
go ahead. Move on to the next subject.
Shay just totally bodied DJ. I'm listening and I'm looking at his poll numbers, DJ. He's underwater when it comes to immigration. And it's not just immigration that he's underwater in, and that's according to the poll numbers. And Donald Trump brags about poll numbers, so you can't say they don't matter.
Have you seen the polls of the people that voted for him, Seuss?
Yeah, he's cratering in terms of the support.
Look that up, will you?
The Republican
look
Party.
The polls of the people that voted for him, the people who actually voted for his policies, who wanted him to come in and do exactly what he has done. Okay.
What about the rest of the country?
What about the when the fraud when Elon Musk and the Doge? Okay, you guys screamed and hollered that this is, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing in the world. He's going to expose.
What happened to Doge? Where is Doge? What happened to it?
Why is my? Go ahead. Yeah.
What happened to Doge, DJ? What happened to our Doge checks and our tariff checks?
DJ.
I have no idea.
DJ?
I have no idea.
Exactly.
I have no idea, Shay.
Dang, Trump
But
said
you
that's
guys-
what's going to happen, and it hadn't happened yet. A lot of his mouth. Another failure.
So
It is not, again.
It's a failure. He said we want our money back.
You guys have shown absolutely
We're
no
losers.
support
Sure.
at all whatsoever. At least when Biden
we
was
warned
president.
you, DJ. We warned you what was going to
we went on with
happen,
our
and we were
lives.
right.
Am I confused?
At some point, you're going to realize we were right. At some point, you're going to go, "Yep, everything they said was going to happen if we put him back in office."
And you know
It
what,
happened.
Shay?
That's
If I
what we
realize
are.
we
We
were
were
right, you will be the first person to
Hold
hear
on.
it from me.
So DJ,
Uh-huh.
honestly,
No,
DJ,
you're too lost.
DJ, I think what I'm hearing is you're not in touch with what's currently happening, right? So the reason I actually wanted you to come up here
For
was
example,
was you promised us the war would be over in 4 to 6 weeks. Let's just go down this list real quick. I mean, you and Shay's obviously winning because we know Donald Trump, his approval numbers in general, they're tanking. They're the lowest of any other president right now. So to sit up here and try to pretend like he's doing a great job at anything is crazy. Why are you still supporting him when we're 81 days into this war that you told us would be over in 4 to 6 weeks? Do you think it's time?
I wish the war was over, Zeus.
No.
I wish the war was over.
So can we get that
okay,
apology?
but again, we talked to. Excuse me?
Can we get that apology?
Apology for what?
Because you lied to us.
Because he didn't lie to anybody,
No, you.
Zeus. Who did I lie to?
You told us it'd be over in 4 to 6 weeks. You repeat what he said.
If I said that, it's because absolutely that's what I believed. Okay. If Donald Trump was to do exactly what he could do, you guys would be raising hell all day long. Okay. He's trying to do this in a way that basically still gives the people of Iran an opportunity. Okay.
No.
So
DJ, stop. Do you understand?
Go ahead.
Do you understand that we've been lied to about the actual battle damage assessment that the United States and our allies have sustained as a result of this war of choice Donald Trump has dragged the United States into? We haven't gotten all the numbers back. Pete Hegseth literally sat down and asked for $1.5 trillion. Where's this United States kicking Iran's butt stuff coming from? You can't continue that, DJ. The war is in its 81st day, and the gas prices. Am I right, Shay? Shay, how much is gas where you're at?
$4.69. And I'm in Houston.
DJ, Dame,
Where it's refined.
honestly, he literally sits down and says it was $1.85 a gallon, and now we're at $4, and in California it's almost $7 a gallon. DJ, you can't say that it's going the way Donald Trump wanted it to go. You understand that?
It absolutely is not going the way
Okay.
that Donald Trump wanted it to go.
Okay. And
I agree with that
why
100%.
why do you think it's not? And don't blame the left.
Because Iran,
Are we
Iran does
protesting
not.
gas tanks? I'm just curious. Are we out there protesting, petrol plants? Like, is that
gonna
what's
try to-
causing the issue? Because the libtards are out there protesting. Just curious, DJ, if that's what you're thinking.
Okay, I'll tell you exactly what I'm thinking.
No, I mean,
The Iranian leadership is in chaos right now. We want to make sure whoever we're making a deal with is the actual leaders of Iran. Okay, you don't see that as an issue at all?
I thought we had successful regime
Why is that our
change.
problem?
He said we had a successful regime change, DJ. Why do you think Iran isn't negotiating with the United States? You heard about the proposal that Trump rejected. He clearly, supposedly,
Absolutely.
He's claiming Iran wants to make a deal. So your statement makes absolutely no sense. Either you're confused or Trump is lying. Which one?
Oh, so we're going to bow down to whatever deal that they want to make? We're going to make a deal that assures that Iran does not have nuclear capability. You can do that fake laugh all you want.
Didn't Obama have that deal?
No, yeah, he had that deal.
Think about where
absolutely. Obama gave him the deal with absolutely. Along with the billions of dollars that Obama gave him, Iran continued to do exactly what they wanted to do. And if you believe anything different, then you're falling for it.
So DJ, I could just instantly satisfy this question or say this: wasn't the Strait of Hormuz open when Obama was president?
Basically, right now, the United States is trying to ensure that Iran is not making deal with any other countries.
Well, hold on.
Anybody that wants to go into the Strait of Hormuz.
This is really simple. Was the Strait?
Okay, you're asking me a question and you're not letting me answer.
Was the Strait of Hormuz open when Obama was president? Yes. Did Iran have a nuclear weapon when Obama was president? No.
Nope.
So what is this stuff you're talking about? Clearly, the Iran nuclear deal was working.
It was.
Clearly, it was working. When Iran was enriching uranium
that they were close to making a weapon.
Who tore the deal up? It's DJ. This is not rocket science.
Donald Trump.
Okay, all right, finally. So that's a W Shay and a W Zeus. So what are we really arguing about, DJ?
I agree. What are you arguing about?
I want to say this. Number one, though, we're arguing about basically you admitting that you are basically not being honest with us. The Iran war, according to you, the one that Donald Trump just started, Operation Midnight Hammer, that was supposed to prevent them from getting a nuclear weapon, right?
Iran continue hostilities against the United States.
And DJ,
for 47 years, the United States has tolerated it.
Hold on. And DJ,
and Donald Trump said they're never tolerating it.
And I forgot.
Do you know how many attacks there have been? Do you know how many attacks there have been on American positions in the last 5 years, Zeus? By Iran and their proxies?
And DJ, this came out 5 days ago. Even after what Donald Trump has done, Iran retains at most a very moderate strike capability. Did you hear this? Did you hear about this?
What is a very moderate strike capability?
Well, go look it up. That means they have, what did they say, 75% of the capacity.
But it's enough for you to use as evidence, but you don't know what it is?
I'm reading it to you.
Not enough to go to
It says
war,
secret
sir,
new assessment
and
says
cause
Iran has operational access to 30 out of 33 of its missile sites along the Strait of Hormuz. So,
and where does that information come from?
You can go read it in the New York Times, but it's from a military intelligence assessment. So this is coming from the Department of Defense. All right. So
that's coming from the Department of Defense.
Yeah. So
let's look it up.
DJ,
let's look it up.
Go look it up.
DJ, do you realize that every president was pressured to do this action? By Netanyahu?
Absolutely.
Every single one of them.
You're
for the last 30 years.
So
why is it that they all said no? Because of what we're going through right now. They knew it was a quagmire.
Military intelligence agencies have also reported, based on information from multiple collection streams, including satellite imagery and other surveillance technology, that Iran has regained access to 90% of its underground missile storage and launch facilities nationwide, which are now assessed to be partially or fully operational. DJ, this is a complete disaster.
Wasn't it obliterated? They came out and said it was obliterated a year ago. Weird. Another lie.
So
no, ma'am. It was the nuclear program that they said was obliterated.
No,
Absolutely, it
they
wasn't the
said
missile
that the
capability.
missile, where they're storing everything, all of their equipment, everything underground, our bunker busters got it obliterated. Literally came out. Look it up.
I appreciate.
If it was obliterated, why do they still have it?
W. Shay.
Come on, DJ. When are you going to wake up?
And just be a Christian and admit you're lying. And you were wrong. Be a Christian, DJ, and admit you were lying and you were wrong. No human being is 100% perfect, DJ. But when we got you, bro. You didn't. This thing is dragging on. And DJ, you brought up fraud. I'm glad you did. Donald Trump and the $1.8 billion. What say ye about that?
No. 1776. Fascinating number, isn't it? $1.776 trillion.
Come on, DJ. Where's the outrage?
Stuff. I love the number.
Please,
it makes
DJ,
my little patriotic heart flutter so much. I'm so excited.
Go ahead, DJ.
What's the question again, Zeus?
Where's the outrage? Are you outraged by taxpayer money being used to pay for criminals?
Explain to me.
Giving them reparations.
Zeus, I sent you a video on exactly how this works and what it was.
You did.
Do you not remember this?
But I saw the video, but I'm asking you to actually explain to us why you're okay with any money coming from the United States government via taxpayers being used to pay for people.
Where did the money come from?
The Treasury.
From the U.S. Treasury.
They say it came from the Treasury, but that's still taxpayers' money. Number one.
No, sir, I'm not arguing that point.
Okay. So let's not get into which pot did the taxpayers' money come from.
Still your money that y'all always talk about. I don't want my money used for Ukraine. I don't want my money used to take care of illegals. I don't want my money used to take care of transgender children. This is your money, DJ, being used to pay off criminals.
Let me know when you're ready for me to answer the question.
Go ahead, honey. Ready. We're excited. Okay. Go ahead.
The money comes from a pot that the U.S. Treasury has for suits against the federal government. Do you guys agree with that? Yes or no?
The money comes from a pot
from the U.S. Treasury.
I do acknowledge that I'm hearing reports that came from the
lawsuits
Treasury
against the federal government.
I believe that is accurate. I believe that is accurate. I believe that's
accurate. So, and you do agree that Donald Trump sued the IRS for $10 billion.
I acknowledge that he did do that too. Yeah. This is good. You see how I can comfortably answer questions, right? Because this is where it's going to get murky.
This is good because
he sued his own government. You realize that, right?
All right. Let me finish, please. So Donald Trump agreed to drop his lawsuit. He will not have anything to do with suing the IRS in the future.
Okay, now this is where I disagree. I don't necessarily believe that. I don't believe that.
You don't agree that he dropped the lawsuit, Zeus?
No. Donald Trump.
If you don't believe
hold on. Donald Trump arranged a scheme to allow him and his family and his allies and some other folks to get some money out of the United States government. I think if you say it that way,
no, sir, his family will not receive any of this money.
Okay, and how many people believe that? How many people believe that Donald Trump and his family are going to watch $2 billion be put in a pot of money and they go, oh, we're never going to touch that? How many of you believe that? DJ, come on, bro. Come on, DJ.
Eligible for the money, Bruce. He's not. Do you know who can apply for the money, Zeus? Hunter Biden.
I knew you were going to say that.
Hunter Biden. What? Was he at January 6th?
Hey, DJ, I could go apply for $1 million loan right now. Does that mean I'm going to get it?
You absolutely can. Anybody who feels like they were wrong or they were persecuted by the Department of Justice can go after that money. Anybody can apply, except for Donald Trump and members of his family.
We'll see how that works out, DJ.
Okay.
We'll see.
I'm not arguing that with you, Shay. I'm just saying that's DJ, how it was set up.
So, DJ, what I'm hearing you say is you're okay with criminals getting reparations as long as they're doing the work for Trump.
Okay. I like how you threw the word criminal in there. Okay.
They beat up law enforcement.
And now he's a philanthropist.
Do you have any idea how many people were persecuted after January 6th that had no business getting persecuted by the DOJ? Do you understand that what went on in this country?
No, I really don't understand it.
Did they break the law by being there? Did they break the law?
Excuse me?
Did they break federal law by going to the Capitol and entering the Capitol when it was closed? Did they? Yes or no?
Okay. I'll answer that question with that question with a no. Because would you disagree if the doors please let me finish. Would you disagree that if the doors were open and they were waved into the Capitol, that they did not?
Is that why they had to break windows? Because the doors were open?
That was a different group of people, by the way.
Popcorn, listen up. We're gonna try to have
doesn't matter who got waved in. What about the ones that broke in? Who's been to the Capitol? Anybody?
Hold on.
You go through metal detectors.
Hold on, hold on. I'm doing something.
Allowed in.
Hold on, I'm doing something a little different on the show because I gotta do it the right way. This is a panel. This is turned into a panel conversation. It would really mean a lot if we really just had these conversations and we don't let it get personal. And you leave the lake of fire stuff to Big Zeus because we all know who's going to hell already, right? We all know. But Popcorn, stop it. Now, we're gonna have this conversation before we get up out of here, but I want to have it with professionalism if possible. Are we all on the same page about being a little more on the professional side? Because I don't like a lot of yelling in my ear in the morning. I just can't do it. Fair enough.
I concur with that, but I just wanted to come up and say that you guys are liars.
Okay. Well, then you know what? That's an example.
American citizens were never deep.
That's an example.
Oh my God! Popcorn called me a liar. I'm so hurt.
Yeah. All right. Good morning, Jim. Good morning, Kabira. I'm so sorry.
Good morning.
And it's an honor to have you both. Using your time this valuable morning to come up here and weigh in. Who wants to go first? Kabira or Jim? Which one of you want to go first? I know you.
I'll always show respect to my friend Kabira.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you.
See
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
DJ, if you could hear yourself on the other side of this phone, you'd be surprised how ridiculous you sound. Everything you've said makes absolutely positively no sense whatsoever. Let's look at the last statement you said about, do you know how many people that were arrested that didn't have anything to do with January the 6th? Well, the question is, do you know how many people that were arrested that didn't have anything to do with January the 6th? Now, I'll wait for that answer. And I'll tell you, you don't know, DJ. And this is the next thing, DJ. They opened the doors and they walked in. First of all, if you're up front and you see windows being busted and people using ramrods to open doors, and then the door gets open, I mean, you're that close to see this business going on, DJ. And you freely walk in. DJ, that's the same as I have my house locked up, and you take a ramrod, you bust windows, you bust my doors, and you and your crowd of buddies, you just walk on in. See, that's where you make absolutely positively no sense, DJ. Now, I could see if a person went to the rally and they may have walked to the Capitol, but they saw the foolery going on, throwing the gates at the police officers and spraying bear mace on them. Me, I'm the type of person, I see that shenanigan going on, I'm out of there. Because like my cousin says, when the wagon comes, everybody goes. And we're going to sort this out when we all downtown. You shouldn't have been down there when they were destroying things, DJ. End of story. And if you have any children, that's what you would tell them. If you see some shenanigans going on and you know it's illegal, get to stepping.
That part.
So, DJ, my question to you is this. Do you know how many people that were swept up in it that were innocent? I'll wait.
DJ. And I appreciate you.
Just like I figured.
Not
Cat got your
interrupting
tongue. Cat got his tongue. Jim, the floor is yours.
Wait.
Kabira,
I don't get to answer the question.
She gave you some time and you didn't say anything. And
I had myself muted so I didn't get accused of interrupting anybody.
And I appreciate that. That shows you at least understand how to be professional on social media for once. Is there anything you want to say to respond to what Kabira was saying, or is this going to just kind of be you just inserting your little agenda into the conversation? Which one?
I'll make it short and sweet. How about that?
I appreciate it.
Because I don't have a whole lot of time either. And I do appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak and the time. However, Kabira, no. The answer to your question is no. I don't know exactly how many people. If I spend some time researching it, I can get you a number, okay? But what I do know is this. The people that you're talking about that were busting windows and tearing down the gate and everything else, that was one side of the Capitol. You know that there were multiple sides to all of this, agreed? And you know that there were FBI agents that were also undercover FBI agents that were there. You do know about that, right?
Yeah. I have one question for that undercover FBI agent.
Okay, sure.
This was wait a minute. This was before January the 20th, 2021. This was January the 6th, 2021. Is that correct? If there were FBI agents there, wouldn't that have been Donald Trump's FBI agents? That was his administration.
It was his DOJ.
So he sent his own FBI agents, right? Oh, he probably could have, because he caused all that chaos and confusion. You see, DJ, that's why none of this makes any sense. But continue, please.
Okay. Yes, if it was Donald Trump's Department of DOJ, absolutely. Okay. Do you remember when President Biden took in and they did hearings on all of this? No. I'm going to be very brief, Zeus. When they asked specifically, were there FBI agents at the January 6th, whatever you want to call it, riot situation, whatever? Okay. What did they come out and say that when he asked that question?
Can I?
You know what they said?
Can I step in here, because in the interest of time, DJ, I just need you to answer Kabira's question. And what we're not going to entertain today, honestly, is deflecting and going to Joe Biden.
Facts. You're not going to entertain facts.
It's only going to open up the door for you to start going down memory lane. We don't want to go down memory lane. We just want.
You don't want to go down memory lane when it talks about facts. Kabira wants to sit here and say that I don't know how many people were.
And that's
doing
valid.
This,
you confirmed
and
it.
Everything that I said is ridiculous. There were undercover agents at the FBI that were there without anyone, according to.
But Kabira pointed out that those were Trump's. But Kabira pointed out that was Trump's FBI.
Testimony.
Hold on, Kabira pointed out that was Trump's FBI. So, what point were you trying to make by saying that, with the understanding, like, even if the FBI was there, it was Trump's FBI? What is the point you're trying to make? Because you said there was all these different angles. What is the point you're trying to make so that we can move it on? Because
I think that we can easily make the point that the Department of Justice was not. Was President Trump the head of the Department of Justice? Yes, he was. Did he have people in the Department of Justice that were doing their best to undermine him? Absolutely. And there's your proof right there.
Okay. Oh, DJ, that's nothing but conjecture. Let's move it right
along. So what I state is conjecture,
what
you guys state is fact.
Hold on. Listen, DJ, I'm going to try to get Jim involved as well, because this is a panel. Jim, thank you, Kabira. By the way, W's in the chat for Kabira and Shay. We know we have DJ dead to rights. Good morning, Jim. Welcome. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good morning, Shay. Good morning, DJ. Good morning, Kabira.
Good morning, Jim. Good morning, everyone.
So I'm curious about a couple of things that DJ said right out the gate. Like, he talked about policy, and good job, Shay, asking him what policy, because he couldn't name one. And there's a reason why they can never name policies. Because there are only 38 policies that have been passed by this Congress in 15 months, legally. Did you guys know that? It is the lowest number of policies to ever cross-congressional policymaking. 38.
Yeah.
In comparison to the Biden-Harris administration that had over 400 pieces of legislation passed, bipartisan, by the way, for the American people. See, that's the difference about what we're talking about, is what is your government doing for the American people? What is your government passing for the American people? What are your tax dollars paying for the American people? See, notice that none of the things that Trump ever talks about is for the American people. It's always how it's going to benefit financially and personally for the Trump family, the Trump cronies, and the Trump administration. So I'm curious because DJ actually said something that was really, really a declaration.
Really?
And y'all missed it.
Really?
He literally said, if Trump got to do what he really wanted to do, you would all be crying.
Oh, I remember him
Y'all
saying
missed
that.
it. He actually declared it.
I never spoke those words. That is a
You
lie.
actually did. And you know what, DJ? I appreciate you saying you never did, because you also say, if I said that, because you know you don't remember what comes out of your mouth. See, that's what happens when people lie. They forget what they said because there's no basis of fact to uplift it. But these
You're
are
saying
recorded.
that I said if
DJ,
Trump didn't do what he wanted to, we would all be
I did
fine.
not interrupt you once. I did not interrupt you once.
Hey,
So I
Jim,
want you guys to.
Hey, Jim, let me interrupt you real quick. DJ, you did say it because that was another thing that was on my mind.
Thank you.
You said it.
Thank you. All right.
So I want everybody,
Go
I
ahead,
want
Jim.
everybody to remember that, because when this plays on YouTube, you're going to hear DJ say that. You're going to hear him say, if Trump got to do what he really wanted to do, y'all would be up in arms, crying, whatever the hell you said. Because you're not going to remember it anyway, because your biggest thing is to say, if I said it, or my intent was, or you backtrack, because nothing you say is ever based on fact. That's the problem with Trump supporters, is you guys can't let go of the fact that you literally are on the wrong side of history. You are voting to harm America. You are voting to harm allies. You are voting to harm humanity. You are voting to harm civil rights. Everything you support under this administration has been harmful to this society, and you have to live with it. And until we start holding your feet to the fire every single day, like it should have happened during the Confederacy, none of you are ever going to learn. But it's coming. You want to talk about retribution? It's coming. And I want you to just look at the last couple of days. So Cassidy, Massey, and now Boebert's on the radar, okay? And I want you guys to stop crying in your beer for Massey. Stop crying in your beer for Cassidy. Stop crying in your beer for MTG. Stop crying in your beer for Boebert. Because I want people to remember, since America's memory is so freaking short, these are the same people, Boebert and Massey, that 4 days after a massive school pew-pewing in Michigan, posted pictures of themselves holding automatic weapons with their children for Christmas. These are the same people that voted lock, stock, and barrel with this administration. And I want everybody to remember what happened to Liz Cheney also. This is what happens when you literally bed with serpents. You get bit. You get the toxin running through your body. And they are finding out that their loyalty to a corrupt man, a criminal organization, a regime that is in bed with foreigners like Qatar and Saudi Arabia and the UAE and Putin and Kim Jong-il is literally got them losing their job and losing their own self-respect. Because when history books are written, nobody's going to feel sorry for the Masseys, the Cassidys, the MTGs, the Boeberts. Nobody's going to feel sorry for them. And DJ, nobody's going to feel sorry for you either.
Thank you.
And the thing is I knew when I came up here, you didn't even know the number of policies passed by this administration, because none of you ever know that your government is failing you right now, because you are so underground in your thinking that you have to stick your head literally in the sand to breathe. because that's where it's clearer for you, where the gravel clogs your throat and you choke on the very words that are coming out of your mouth.
Wow. Thank you, Jim.
See, this is the problem with Trump.
Thank you, Jim. Hold on. We're gonna. We gotta put.
I got one.
Okay.
I got one point.
We gotta let him breathe.
No. I know, but DJ said, I took a long time holding my breath. DJ literally said that the Trump family cannot claim anything. Let's remind DJ that fake lawsuit that he filed was for the sheer purpose of him turning around and trying to make it look like he made a deal. And in that deal for the 1776, by the way, is a letter from none other than Todd Blanche saying that the U.S. government cannot go after Trump, his family, or his cronies.
Thank you.
Not legal.
Thank you, Jim.
That's true. That is true.
Hold on. And by the way, that's very professional of all of you to just because we know how this is going to end. DJ,
we know.
DJ, was there anything you've heard Jim say that you want to respond to, honestly? And it doesn't involve bringing up the Democrats.
No, she's right. Trump absolutely gets consideration where his family does not get pursued by the IRS. Absolutely. That's part of the deal.
Wrong. Not legal. Not legal. Not legal. Everything Todd Blanche wrote in that letter is not legal. He has no authority over the U.S. government to write a letter giving the family of a sitting president or his cronies or Trump himself any leeway. If you owe money, if you commit crimes, the law and the Constitution are the ruling factor, not Todd Blanche.
Thank you, Jim. Who was that?
Hey, Zeus, may I say one thing?
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna shut up.
No. You don't got to shut up. No, you're doing.
Jim said something very profound, and it was to you, DJ. There are 350 Americans in this country, and only 39 policies were passed.
38, right?
Only 39. Was it 39, Jim? 38?
38. In 15 months that this administration has been in office, it is the lowest legislative branch in history. They are not working. They are not working for the American people.
That's what I mean by 300.
They're barely there.
Hold on.
That's what I mean by.
What were you saying, Kabir?
That's what I mean by. That's what I mean by 350 million Americans, and only 38 policies were passed. That's pitiful.
Can I ask a question?
And half of them were probably naming post offices, you know?
Who's the question for?
Changing military bases.
Hey, Jim.
Confederates, yeah.
What do you consider to be a policy?
My God.
Is that a law?
DJ.
I mean, tell me, I want her to be specific. 30-some policies. What are you talking about? A law being passed? Are you talking about an executive order?
DJ, what does Congress do? DJ, stop talking. Stop repeating yourself. I heard you the first time. I don't have any hearing problem. What does the legislation do? What does the legislature do?
Pass laws.
What is Congress's job?
Is it to pass resolutions?
Oh dear God.
No, don't, oh dear God, me and act like I'm giving you some ignorant answer.
Oh, don't get all up in your don't get up in your chonies. Pull it out of your ass. Don't get up in your chonies right now. You got the streaks already. We're not going to leave a trail. Okay,
Jim,
let's just be very real. Let's be very real. DJ, you don't even know how your government works. So
no,
stop
ma'am, I
talking.
know
Me a question.
You said
you
he's passed 37 policies.
You don't. No, I didn't, because you didn't listen. It's 38 policies have been passed by this legislature. It is the lowest in history. Just fucking talk to Alexa. She'll be your friend. I want everybody to understand that no means to comprehend. The United States Congress does not work for the American president. Can we all get an amen in the comment section that the U.S. Congress does not work for the American president? So if you don't comprehend that they should not be carrying his buckets of water for him, they should not be calling him every morning, they should not be on the phone with him twice a day like Mike Johnson said,
They work for us, the American people. They are supposed to be writing laws and legislation that comes up from the American people to solve problems that hit the American people. Food programs, healthcare, education. Based on the Constitution, they are supposed to write laws for the American people, DJ. And in this Congress, under this administration, only 38 pieces of policy have passed because they have either been on vacation, not in session, or ignoring the rights of the American people to have legislation put into law to protect us. Instead, they are spending their time holding and carrying the water for this administration. And until the American people recognize that your Congress has not been working for you, they've been working against you. Your Supreme Court has not been working for you, it's been working against you. Then that is where we have a problem. Because DJ, here's the thing that scares me the most for men like you, is you're going to wake up one morning and you're going to realize all the things that you have said on Zeus's live have been recorded.
Thank you.
All the things that you've said that have been misinformed and disinformed, they are going to live with you and haunt you for the rest of your life, that you are not only on the wrong side of history, you were promoting it to the nth degree to harm your fellow American citizens, women, children, BIPOC community, LGBTQIA, veterans, all of it. You were right there, lock, stock, and barrel, saying all the things you said that were not only wrong, they were dangerous, they were racist, they were misogynist, and they played a part in what's harmed this country. And I want every one of you to understand that when all of this is said and done, especially what's happening in Iran, because it made me sick when you literally said, I want this war to end, Zeus. Well, guess what? Those young men and women that were in that logistics area in Kuwait that got boomed, they don't get to have it end because they're dead. They're dead. They will never come home to their families. They had no protection. Those soldiers that are sitting out in the Middle East, those soldiers that are sitting out in the Middle East waters eating crap while they're hosting opulence, they'll never get those days back with their family.
DJ, did you blame Biden for the 13?
Oh, don't do it,
Shay. Did you blame him for that?
Sure
The
that
pullout of
Shay.
Afghanistan
Sure
and 13 lives? How many times did you do that?
I'm
Say
sure
their
that I
names.
did.
Did you do that?
Yeah.
I'm sure that I did.
I'm
The
sure
way he
you
bundled
did.
that, the way he bundled that, I'm sure I
So
did.
Trump is responsible for this.
Let's answer it.
Then, correct?
Exactly. Let's answer that. Let's answer that. Who made the deal with the Taliban?
The deal that Trump made with the Taliban was not followed by Biden.
DJ, it's real easy. Who made the deal? Just answer it. Who
can
made
you
the
hear
deal
me?
with the
DJ,
Taliban?
DJ,
Am I muted?
No,
or can
because
you
you
hear me?
talk too much.
I can hear you.
Who made the
DJ.
deal?
Can we just get
I answered the
answers?
question.
Can we just get answers?
And let me know when I get to reply to Jim, please.
All right, so let's do it this way.
Who
right?
made the deal with the
Let's do
Taliban?
it this-
If you're going to talk about our service members and you've never served with honor, you can sit all the way down. It was Trump that made a deal with the Taliban
Now, that's a
and let
fact.
out 5,000
And it was not
T
followed by
groups.
Biden.
It is them. They're the ones who committed the heinous crime. Trump let them out. He did not deal with the Afghanistan government. And that's what you need to be honest with the American people about. You don't get to rewrite history. We're living it.
But now, hold on now. So Shay, where were you going with that question to DJ about the Afghanistan withdrawal? Were you trying to highlight something about DJ's beliefs that we need to make sure he's aware of?
Well, yeah, he just said, don't put that on me, that kind of stuff. It's like we spent years debating with this man. And I remember, the right being very upset at Biden's, supposed botchery of withdrawing from Afghanistan when Jim has pointed out, we pointed out time and time again, because it was set up to fail. He made the deal with the Taliban to get us out of Afghanistan. He didn't have a plan, DJ. There wasn't a plan for Biden. There was nothing left in place. In fact, he spent most of the time trying to sabotage his withdrawal from Afghanistan. He was stuck in that deal. He had to get out the way he did.
Biden also did not receive a peaceful transfer of power that happens the 3 months prior to taking
He didn't have the
office.
3 months to prepare and know what's going on and any of that, that all presidents, including Trump, when he came back into office, was given by Biden.
So that's a good point. So here we are, DJ. I think we've debunked quite a bit of the misinformation that you brought up this morning. Is there any more misinformation you have left in your system before we?
Do I get to respond to Jim?
Well, yeah. Let's go ahead and do it. And again, we're running. We got about 5 more minutes of this. Let's go ahead and keep it clean. And respond on the merits as much as possible, because I don't know how you could.
Okay, I agree with Jim. What the Congress has done under President Trump is nothing but an abomination. And they should absolutely, every single person, whether Republican or Democrat, should be absolutely ashamed of what this Congress has accomplished, which is basically nothing. When you talk about the bills that the American people have spoken and that we all want to see done and what has been done, the Republicans should absolutely be ashamed. And that's why we're seeing right now in some of these elections that are happening right now, there's a lot of seats that are changing. Okay? I agree with Jim 100%. Now, as far as 37, whatever she called it, policies, whatever, that were passed, under President Trump, do you know how many executive orders he's issued? Okay.
Well, okay. You know what? I with all due respect, DJ, those are not law. Those are presidential agenda.
I agree with you 100%.
But for the sake of the 1,000 people in here, we all need a civics lesson every day in this TikTok world, because EOs are the president's agenda. And actually, Congress does not have to honor those. They can actually legislate and fight back against those. Yeah. So let's be very honest when we're talking about
against
EOs.
Some of his
they won't, because
orders?
they're all in bed with him, because the GOP is the majority party. They are corrupt. They are MAGA. They are not doing the work of the American people. They are doing the work of a president, which is not for us.
So DJ,
they're not doing the work of the president.
So
DJ,
hold on, because
if they did the work of the president, we would already have an ID law in this country.
Hey, DJ,
can you hear me?
DJ.
All right, so listen,
DJ, cut it out.
Thank you.
Cut what out?
Stop it out. I'm gonna say this, Zeus, and you can drop me. DJ, cut it out. God dog it. I forgot what I was going to say.
You can say it again when it comes back. Don't drop just yet, Kabir. But I wanted to ask DJ, listen, we don't got all day. Why did you said you agreed with Jim. You brought in this whole executive order nonsense. What was the whole purpose of trying to distract us with that? Because none of us are falling for it. We all understand that the
Give me 30
order,
seconds, and I'm more than happy to answer that question.
Please do.
I don't even need 30 seconds.
Because you're drowning right now. You're drowning.
It has been. I'm not drowning.
And I can't even throw a life jacket to try to help you.
I am breathing air. I am not
hurry up.
Okay. Here's the deal. President Trump, when he got voted into office by the United States of America, he won the popular vote. He won the Electoral College. And we took Congress, okay? Since he's had that time, Congress has done absolutely nothing to try to further his agenda. So the President of the United States has the right to issue executive orders. And that's what he has done to try to push his agenda.
Okay.
I agree with Joe.
DJ,
the Republicans should absolutely be embarrassed.
Okay, DJ, that's enough.
That's what it is, DJ. That's what it is. Let's look at what's this fella's name out of Louisiana who just lost his Senate seat? Bill Cassidy. That's his name. Cassidy.
You mean the Republican, the representative seat?
Yeah. Don't interrupt me. I'm on a roll.
Well,
what happened to Thomas Massey just yesterday? See, if you go against Trump, if those congressmen or senators speak up against Trump, he puts it out there. They're a bum. They're no good. They're not working for you. See, he's a dirty, undermined la-di-da. I want to get to cussing, but I respect Zeus panel and his mother. You know what I'm talking about. So they're going to go along with him lock, stock, and barrel. Otherwise, if they step out of line, here comes the threats, here comes everything, and they lose their seat. But me, I have integrity. I'd rather be a Massey. He stood on principle.
Amen.
He stood on what he believed, and he wanted those e-files out Trump got mad at him about that, and he
Yeah, why doesn't
campaigned
Trump
against
want the
him.
e-files
And that's how it
released?
works.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
If they are
DJ.
Trump's
I thought he
minions,
cared about
as you
trafficked
say,
victims.
if
I
they're
thought he
Trump's
cared about
minions,
children.
why do they have not passed the SAVE Act?
DJ. How about this? I want to give the show's just ended. I want to give all
There's
the
a reason for
I
that.
want to give the panelists who participated, because this is honestly a step in the direction that I need to go in when we have more panel conversations. All right, you all deserve a round of applause.
Thank you, Zeus.
And
for having
thank you
us.
for being contained and controlling yourself. But at the end of the day, somebody has to go to hell. Who should go to hell? And the audience gets to
The
decide.
200 and the person who sent DJ 270 gifts need to go to hell.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. But
Thank you for the civil conversation.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, DJ. Well, unfortunately, DJ, you lost. No one buys that. Look at the chat going crazy. DJ. Hey, DJ. Unfortunately, you lied.
That's
and
hilarious.
you must get fried. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending DJ, the MAGA demon, today straight to hell.
Wake up, DJ.
Gee, I gotta do like this. Yeah, get him in there. Get him in there. Stomp the demon out.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
And that's a huge W, Zeus, and W to the panelists again. Thank you all. Seriously, I appreciate it. All right, I got to get up out of here. All right, any last words, real quick, before you go? I'm being generous.
I mean, I'll just I think we all feel the same way. I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but that's just the man will never get it because he lives so much in his white privilege. It's ridiculous. He doesn't care about this country. He doesn't care that he's been duped. He doesn't care. It's just so sad to watch what goes on with Americans. At some point, some will wake up. Some are waking up. It's nuts to me. But thanks for having me, Zeus. Love you, Jim. Love you, Kabira. Love you all.
There you go.
Love you, sir.
All right, Kabir, what do you got?
Yes, I just want to say it was a pleasure being up here on the panel and to be inside the Thunderdome today.
Appreciate it, sis.
That's
Thank
all
you.
I got for
All
you,
right,
buddy.
all right. W's in the chat for my sister Kabira. Jim, thank you. Jim,
You're welcome. I just want to
drowning
remind
him.
people. Thanks. I appreciate it. I didn't want to talk to DJ. I wanted to talk to you, but that's okay. He everybody to understand every single day that we're out here in these TikTok streets trying to give you guys information, dedication, and conversation. Just remember this. Don't believe the talking heads on TikTok. Research it for yourself. I want you to leave every day with a seed planted that you should know more than you did yesterday. I want you to know that when I cast my vote, I'm not casting the vote for me. I'm 54. I'm over half of my life is gone. I'm voting for you, your children, and their children. We have to leave this world better than it was left to us. And we're not watching that under this administration. So get involved. Get involved at your school levels, your townships, your cities, your states. Get involved. Volunteer, register, don't give up. Plant a tree, create air, take care of a neighbor. Do something that makes us truly what we're supposed to be about. We the people for the people. Every day, that's what I strive to do, is to plant a seed that'll leave tomorrow better than it was today. Peace out. Love you. Take care.
All right, W's in the chat for Jim. No lies detected. And you know what? I appreciate them coming up here because I do recognize that I think we should start having more panelist conversations as well because that's totally going to be necessary. So be on the lookout for that. I want to give a special thank you, honestly, this morning to all of you out there who supported this live in one way, shape, or form. Seriously, especially to the subscribers, gifters, moderators, and panelists. Because you rizzed me up, you rizzed the panelists up. I mean, this is good stuff right here, and we're getting truth out there, and we're liberating the minds in the United States by giving them raw information that'll actually help them go out and vote and become better citizens. But on a serious note, I also got to wrap it up by giving one last round of booze and shame. And this goes out to all of the Zeus haters. They're not just my haters. These are also your haters. W, Tara. W, Kabira. You know what they do. They lie in wait, they cheat and steal, and they defend the indefensible, all in the name of Donald Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending these hypocrites straight to hell. Thank you.
Silence, you MAGA Damon.
All right, WR, ladies and gentlemen, take care and have a great rest of your morning. I'll see you out there in those TikTok streets. All right.
What about body?
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen.
What about body?
Great show. No, you did great.
What about body?
Even though we got reported. Jesus Christ.
Read the votes dead tonight. Yeah, that ain't right. What about body?
Oh my gosh, we just got done hearing this.
Millions crossing, drugs pouring. Gas prices sky, inflation wild. Economy dying, can't feed your child.
Thank you, Grumpy. Thank you, Cindy W. Marissa. Heaven, my brother. Wow, cold as a day.
What about body? What about body? Yeah. Up in the White House, call him Sleepy Joe. Cognitive decline. Everybody knows stumbling words. Can't finish a sentence. Pumping on strings.
In the chat, she fit Dolphin. Wow, you all are showing a lot of love. Thank you.
Weaponized OJ, FBI raids. Mar-a-Lago storm, 100 gets praised. January 6th, locking up brands, but Joe's specified docs in his garage, man. Keystone cancel, energy weak. Depending on foes, gas sold off the week. Crime in the city, talk on the streets, defunding police.
JD Cakes. What about Biden? This is all they talk about. Yeah, that ain't right. W, Linda, W, Montreal, and wow, Forever. Thank you, Forever Jan. Thank you so much, Bella. Thank you, Rebecca. Here it goes. Liquid gold on it. You know they say drill. I should play drill, baby, drill, huh? That's my favorite part right here. Here, bring it down. C-Dub. I love you too. Here it goes. What about him? Ooh, that gets me every time. Thank you for the rant. Wow. That's all MAGA has. What about Biden? All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we have so much liquid gold under our feet. We'll get to that in short order. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your morning.